The Community Television Consortium of Stark County presents this week's edition of What's Happening, the show about you, the people of Stark County. And now your host for tonight's program, Susie Vitale.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of What's Happening in Stark County. I'm Susie Vitale. Our first guest this evening is our good friend Larry Burgert, who's the Director of Development at the Canton Christian Home. And Larry's here to talk about another seminar that you're offering. And the last one was really helpful. It was about how to avoid fraud. What's your topic this time?
This one is Breaking Free, a seminar of how many people get so caught up in credit card debts that they are not free to really manage their money and free to live as they would like and free to help others as they would like, because the credit interest just gets them in bondage and they don't realize sometimes exactly how to get out of it when they do get into it.
This would be a really good seminar for someone to take who is really young, for example, who was just getting credit cards. So this is obviously open to the public?
This is open to the public, and it would be excellent for young married couples, but it's also excellent for those who've been married a while. Larry Burkett, who has a financial radio station in Atlanta, gets 40,000 calls a month. Wow. Concerning financial problems. And a big thing that's happening in marriages and causing much marriage conflict anymore is finances. And so we want to hold a seminar at Canton Christian Home to help individuals to know what they can do and how to get out of the credit card bondage and debt they're in, and to get them started on some financial freedom so they can feel that the money can be used in a positive way instead of getting in a negative way.
Sure, this would take a lot of stress out of any marriage. So you were giving me an example while we were sitting here, and it was really great about credit card debt.
Right. I'd like to just give this example, how a $3,000 excuse me, credit card debt could actually cost a person $10,000. You take a $3,000 credit card debt at 19.8% interest with a minimum payment of 2% and no additional charges on that. It would take 39 years in order to get that $3,000 paid off.
That's incredible.
And there would be an additional $10,000 of interest in that amount of time. Now, if an individual would take and just pay $5 more, then the minimum payment that's required, they can pay it off in many more, in years ahead. And there's other things that's going to be talked about too, even on house payments. You take a house payment, if you just make an extra payment a year and you have a 20 or 30-year loan, you've cut the years down as well as the interest down. And it's that type of thing that's going to be talked about at our seminar.
That's really helpful.
And our seminar will be on Tuesday, October the 24th. And it will be held from 7 to 9 in the evening, and also from 10 to 12 in the morning. In other words, they are repeated. There's not one is not a continuation of the other. So again, it's from 10 to 12 in the morning on October the 24th, a Tuesday, and from 7 to 9 p.m. And Bonita Halbert is the leader who's going to be leading the seminar, and she's had experience in this and worked with others and is helping people right now get out of that bondage that they're in.
Is there a charge for the seminar?
This is a no-cost, no-obligation seminar, and they'll really benefit from the things that she's going to present.
Okay, and this is held at the Canton Christian Home. Do you need to register?
One does not need to register ahead of time, but it does give us some idea how many to be there and will be there and how many brochures to have.
Sure.
So it's a no cost, no obligation. It does help, and they can call Canton Christian Home 456-0004 to register.
Okay, and this is something that, now, do people need to bring pens, paper, anything? Or?
It might be helpful to bring a piece of paper and a pencil and take some notes. But they're also going to receive brochures like this too. But there's other things that's going to be said, and even concerning wills, the importance of having a will. Many times young couples don't think about how important it is to have a will, especially when they have children. And what happens if they happen to be involved in an accident where both are killed simultaneously? Who's going to take care of their children? I mean, the court could appoint, but if they've already done some planning in their will as to who they would like and ask that couple to help take care of the children in case something would happen to them, that could mean a lot and take a lot of stress out of their lives.
Okay, financial planning, one last time. What's a phone number if they want more information?
It's 456-0004. Breaking Free Seminar at Canton Christian Home, October 24th, 1995.
Thanks, Larry. Next up is Dick Kuhn. Stay with us. Our next two guests are Dick Kuhn and Rose Breslin from City Club. And you're here to talk about City Club. Maybe people don't know what City Club is. So first of all, do you want to explain to us what City Club is?
City Club is a nonpartisan organization that is dedicated to enlighten the community on social and political issues. And it's to advocate and protect the freedom of speech. And the purpose is basically to provide forums and debates where everyone has a chance to speak.
Now, CTC carries this Monday nights from 6 to 7 every week. So if people want to get an idea about what City Club is like, they could kind of tune in. Now, City Club's been around for a long time. Do you want to explain how this got started?
It was started in 1980 by two members of the Canton JCs, and in 1984 it broke off and incorporated it under its own program.
Okay, so this has been around for quite some time. And how is this? What is the format of a meeting? Are these lunch meetings, dinner meetings, morning, evening?
Well, normally we have both, and I'm sure you're familiar with our programming. We are dedicated to the promotion of free speech, and we bend over backwards to keep it nonpartisan. So when we present a program, we take an issue and we try to provide at least two sides of the issue and more if at all possible. The thing that I think is particularly unique about our organization is that everybody that speaks before us has to agree that they'll take questions from the audience. And I don't believe there's any other organization in our community that A, is nonpartisan to the extent that we are, because we even divide up our board of directors between the two political parties, and then B, they also have to agree to answer to the people out in the audience.
Okay, now what are some of the issues that have been debated? There's been a lot of them, and they're things that people have opinions about.
Well, we have a pretty heavy political campaign season right now, and many of our programming right now is based on the election in November. But in the past, we've debated issues such as group homes for those people that suffer mental and physical disabilities. We've discussed abortion. We've discussed neighborhood policing. We've discussed the sales tax. So we've had a pretty rounded different areas of discussion.
Even things like I was reading the brochure and it said the smoking and the non-smoking, the divided areas, and the Ohio lottery and things like that, things that affect everyone's everyday life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And while we're here, we would welcome other people's involvement. If somebody has a good idea for a topic or something they'd like to see discussed, they can certainly contact us. We'd certainly appreciate adding that onto our programming.
Okay, if somebody wants to start coming to City Club and they'd like to be a part of it, maybe they'd like to come to a few meetings, see what it's like, how do you make reservations, or how do you come to a City Club meeting?
We can be contacted. Our P.O. Box is 8455, Canton, Ohio, 44711, and our number is 452-7334. However, for our luncheons, you do have to have a reservation for the meal, and that number is 830-7249.
Okay, now are these held at different times of the week? In other words, are there different dates or times, or do you always have it at a certain?
Our luncheons are normally the third, I believe, isn't it,
yes.
Rose? Third Wednesday of every month. We are, though, coming up on some programming in the evening, and if it's okay,
sure.
sort of like to mention that. We have scheduled for the 4th of October in Canton City Council chambers the Council at Large candidates at 7 o'clock, and that will be an evening program, and of course no reservations are necessary. And then later on in the month of October, October 18th, we're going in with the League of Women Voters, and we're having the Plain, Jackson, and Perry Township candidates, and that'll be at the Glen Oak East on Schneider Road. and that also will be at 7 o'clock. And as you mentioned, we're carried here on Warner Cable, Public Access Channel 11 from 6 to 7, and we're also on the Maslin Cable, I think, Thursday nights.
Okay, so if someone wants to come to these, they can call your number, and they only need reservations for the luncheon
If it's
meetings.
a luncheon, and if it's an evening program, the more the merrier.
Okay, and you're allowed to ask questions, huh?
Absolutely. In fact, we encourage that, and we encourage everybody to get involved, whether it's as a member. We'd like to have people join our group simply because we don't make any money on our luncheons, and,
Sure.
and we do have an overhead. But if people just want to show up, we welcome that, and we welcome questions, because we feel it's important that there are other organizations that allow a speaker to come in and give their opinion about something. But to have it under our format where they have to answer questions from the audience, we find their best questions come from people that aren't even members but are in the audience.
Okay, we've only got about a minute left, but if people want to see this keep going in Canton, how can people help support it, and what do you see the future for City Club? That's a lot in a minute.
Can you say that in a minute or less, Rose?
No.
Okay. My suggestion is, first of all, we'd enjoy increased membership, and we welcome our maybe older members that would like to become re-involved. We are excited. We've reorganized. We have some fresh ideas, and we would welcome people to become involved in that with their suggestions on what they'd like to see discussed at our forum.
Okay, what's that phone number one last time?
452-7334.
Great. Thanks for coming this evening.
Well, thanks for having us.
We've got more. Stay with us. Our next two guests are Tom McGraw and Doug Perry, and they're here from the Stark County Veterans Memorial Committee. And Tom, you're the president, and Doug, you're the vice president of this committee.
Right.
So first of all, tell us about the committee, because you've been on before representing the Vietnam veterans, but this is something that encompasses more. So tell us about the committee.
Well, in a nutshell, Susie, we're a bunch of veterans and non-veterans who got together, and Stark County is lacking something to honor veteran service.
That's
so
true.
we got together and decided we were going to build a memorial to honor all veterans, past, present, and future, whether they serve wartime, peacetime, man or woman. We're trying to get away from a war memorial aspect. It's going to be a living memorial for all veterans.
Okay.
And it's not just for Vietnam and Korea. It's going to be, like I said, past, present, and future veterans.
Okay, so how long ago did this committee form?
Oh, about a year and a half ago, I guess we formed up, and we kicked our campaign off a year ago, Memorial Day. So we've been at it about a year and a half now.
Okay, who all belongs to the committee?
Well, we're made up of some Vietnam veterans, some American Legion veterans, World War II, Korean. We have a woman veteran, not a woman veteran, a woman auxiliary member, and we got about 3 or 4 non-veterans who are acting as, one's an attorney, he's our secretary, and one guy is a CPA, and he's our treasurer. So we got a varied group of people in there helping us.
Okay, now you've got plans for this memorial. Where is it going to be built?
Well, it's to be built in Canton's Westbrook Veterans Memorial Park. It's across from the Stables restaurant there in Tempe Mercy Hospital. It was named a Veterans Park several years ago, and this group has gotten together and decided that it's long overdue. We're fond of pointing out that McKinley's monument sits in a location that was chosen by President McKinley as a spot that would be a good place to build a soldier's memorial. And of course, at that time, he was talking about Civil War veterans.
Sure.
So here we are some 95 years after his assassination that we don't have it, and we want to correct that situation. So this is what we're all about. We want to correct it and honor veteran service in Stark County.
Okay, now you've brought a picture of what it's going to look like. And do you want to sort of describe what it's going to be like?
Well, it's a brick walkway and 5 granite monoliths in sort of a sundial design. And the monoliths will represent the 5 branches of military service. Behind each one will be a unit flag for that service. In the middle will be an American flag. And on each side of the American flag will be a granite statue, 1 male, 1 female, in basic battle fatigue uniform, looking up at the American flag. Again, that's to make sure everybody knows that this is both male and female. Too many times the ladies have been overlooked in some of these things. Each monolith weighs 10,800 pounds of solid granite. We didn't intend for it to go anywhere or to have any little vandal be able to tip it over. So we want it to be there for a long time.
Okay, now this is something that a lot of people are going to want to be part of. Do you have any fundraisers or ways people can be part of this?
Yes, we're selling bricks, which Doug's holding here. This is a $500 brick or a $1,000 brick. And we have a 4-inch by 8-inch pavement brick down there, which is a family donor brick. That's more what we're selling more of. That's a 4-inch by 8-inch pavement brick. You get 3 lines, 13 characters per line. And it's for veterans. Even non-veterans can buy one and say, in honor of veterans. You know, you don't have to be exactly a veteran to participate in this. And speaking of fundraisers, we're having a wine and cheese party October 6th down at the Canton Hilton from 5:30 to 9:30. Silent auction, I should say, too, with the wine and cheese.
Okay.
So it's open to the public, and everybody who's watching, please show up and support us.
Okay, do people need to get tickets in advance for
No,
this?
so they come in at the door. It's a $5 donation at the door, and we're going to have some Klingons there from the Star Wars. It's going to be, they called me yesterday. There's going to be about 15 or 20 of them down there in their get-up, so that should be very interesting. Add a little spice to it, and we're going to have a piano player there for a little bit of music, background music too. So.
Okay, if somebody's interested in either purchasing one of these or making the donation to get a paving brick, or if they want more information about the wine and cheese, which is when, October 6th?
October 6th.
October 6th, and what time?
5:30 till 9:30 in the evening.
Okay, what is the phone number that they could call?
452-2285.
Okay, and this is to support and to build the Stark County Veterans Memorial, and this is for all veterans, men and women. You don't have to have died in a war. This is not a war memorial.
Right, this is a living memorial for all veterans of Stark County. In
Okay.
fact, I got 2 brick orders, one from the Civil War, one from 1812, so that tells you something there.
Okay, well, I'm sure this is going to be a reality and that Stark County will get behind this. Thanks for coming this
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Ruth Settle. Stay with us. Our next guest is Ruth Settle, who's here from the Stark County Board of Mental Retardation and Developmental Disabilities. And Pat Feldman is always so proud that I can now say that without reading it. And you are Vice President of the board, and you're also from the Speakers Bureau. And we're here tonight to talk about the Speakers Bureau. So first of all, do you want to tell us who is on the Speakers Bureau? Who comes out and speaks?
The Speakers Bureau was started about 1.5 years ago, and we have about 15 people, mostly staff. We have a couple parents also. Pat Feldman, the communications director, obviously does a lot of the speaking. The superintendent, Tom Season, does a lot of the speaking too. But on certain times, staff members or myself or other members of the Speakers Bureau go out to do engagements.
Okay, what sort of programs do you present?
We have a variety of programs. We have a very good slide presentation that gives an overall view of the entire program. Our agency is quite diverse and offers so many services that we can give speeches about any one section of it or an overall view of it.
Okay, there was a specific program that you wanted to talk about that you wanted to
Well, we're
mention.
real excited about a new program that we just developed this past spring called Abilities Awareness. And it's a hands-on, interactive program that was geared for 5th grade students, although we can adapt that for adults or for younger children, to give them a sense of what a disability might be like and what abilities people with disabilities have. That's a play on words, I guess, but the program itself really shows somebody what some of the disabilities might feel like and things that they can do.
This is really good for awareness. This would be good to bring into a classroom if there was going to be a child with disabilities coming into that classroom.
Definitely, it would be very helpful for that.
Okay, so what are some of the other topics specifically? I know there's so many that you have that you can speak on.
We can speak on the business portion of the agency, the contracts that the clients actually work on. We can also talk about the social services parts of the program. We can talk about the schools. We have 2 schools. We can discuss the other support services that we have, the OTPT, speech and language.
How flexible are the time limits in the programs? In other words, if someone has a set amount of time that they'd like a speaker to come in, can you be flexible and fit in?
Yes, that's one really nice thing, that we can be real flexible. We can give anything from 5 or 10 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour. Our programs are very adaptable, that we can do that.
Okay, and when people want a speaker to come in, do they need to have the special equipment? Do they need to have a slide projector, or can you
We
do
can bring a
programming?
slide projector with us. If they have one, we can use theirs too. If they we have some video. If they have video capabilities, we can do that too. We're very, very adaptable in giving our talks.
Okay, now you have a levy coming up, and I imagine there are a lot of people that would like to become more informed. I think your motto is learn more about us.
Learn more about us and picture the potential are the two catchphrases we're using this year. And we do have a 12-minute levy video that's very informative, gives people a good overview of the program and some real good information about what issue 3 is going to be about.
Okay, if somebody wants to, maybe they can't get a speaker in, but they'd like to show a video, and they'd like to show this levy video, how could they obtain it? How would they get a hold of it?
They can call the Stark County Board of Mental Retardation and Developmental Disabilities at 477-5200. Ask for Pat Fellman, and she will be glad to get a copy of that video to them.
Pat can tell you anything. She's also the person that you would call, that you would ask for if you wanted a speaker as well. Is that right?
Correct. Pat would take care of scheduling a speaker too.
She's wonderful. She's very accommodating.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Next up, we have Pat Perkins with the calendar of events. Stay with us. Next up is Pat Perkins with the calendar of events. Pat?
Thank you, Susie. Honor, justice, and the Marine Code are put on trial in this suspenseful courtroom murder mystery. A Few Good Men is being presented at the Players Guild October 13th through the 22nd. For tickets or information, you can call them at 453-7617. Help foster the growth of a child. Learn how to become a foster parent through the Stark County Department of Human Services. For more information, you can call them at 438-8789. Pathway has relocated its offices to 2223 Fulton Road Northwest, and that is right before you get to Everhard on the north side of Fulton Road. The new telephone number is 493-0083. Pathway is dedicated to helping neglected and abused children grow up to be happy, productive, and responsible adults. Again, their number is 493-0083. The Quail Hollow State Camera Club meets the second and the fourth Tuesday at 7 p.m. at the Mansion. Guests are welcome. Meetings feature programs of instruction and entertainment. You can call 877-6652 or 452-8085 for more information on that. The Canton Symphony announces the 1995-96 concert series. Musical director Gerhard Zimmerman conducts the concerts, which are performed at 7:30 in the evening on Sundays and 8 o'clock in the evening on Mondays at Umstadt Performing Arts Hall. And that's at McKinley High School, in case anybody doesn't know. Season tickets can be purchased for the 7-concert classical series by calling the Canton Symphony ticket office weekdays between 9 and 5, and that number is 452-2094. The Video Camera Club has its regular meeting the third Wednesday of each month, starting at 7 o'clock. The meetings are held at the Market Heights Community Church, located at 3129 North Market Avenue in Canton. The club is open to anyone who is interested in audio or video. Dues are $8, and that's for the year. Please plan to attend and bring a friend. For more information, call 492-1266. The North Canton Playhouse has 3 subscription packages for the 1995-96 theater season. The main stage pass will allow the theater goer to see 6 productions, 2 of which are premieres. This package saves the theater goer $1.50 per show. The comedy package includes 4 productions, 1 of which is an area premiere, all for $28, and that's a saving of $1 per show. And the family package includes 5 delightful family shows, 2 of which are musicals, at a savings of $1 per show. For more information on show titles and prices, you can call the Playhouse at 494-1613. And a wine and cheese reception and silent auction to benefit the Stark County Veterans Memorial will be held from 5:30 to 9:30 on October 6th at the Canton Hilton. The cost is $5 per person, and that's payable at the door. The event is open to the public. So for some fun and more details, call 452-2285. If your nonprofit club or organization would like to have its events on this program, you can write to the Community Television Consortium at Post Office Box 8335, Canton, Ohio, and that zip is 44711, or you can give us a call at 493-8921. We air on Tuesday nights on Warner Cable at 6 o'clock, on Thursday nights on Warner Cable Channel 11 at 6:30, and on Maslin Cable Channel 50 on Thursdays at 7:30. Now, if anything could have gone wrong tonight, it went wrong, and we're out of here. And Bob, you're out of here, and thanks a lot.
Thanks, Pat. That wraps up another edition of What's Happening in Stark County. Thanks for joining us.